So, it's been 2 rough weeks of Trials, and this one might still be really bad. Now, when Trials came out this week, there was no special at all. It was actually the old sandbox as well. But, since we have bricks now back instead of Trials, there's one meta I've been wondering and seeing more and more, and it's fusion rifles. I've been seeing a rise of fusions, and myself, I've been finding them quite fun. I've been using them in many ways, very aggressive playstyle, double fusion type of things. I've been using Rain of Fire on a Warlock with them, and I'm gonna be honest, there's one fusion that actually kind of stands out a lot. Actually, two, and it's Null Composure and Merciless. And these two fusions just hits different for no apparent reason. Now, if you understand how Merciless works, hits with projectiles decrease this weapon's charge time for a short duration. And it allows you to basically map people, because this thing has some insane stats just by base. The catalyst makes this thing insane. To compare the two, Merciless compared to another high impact, Glaciocasm. You see the difference. Of course, I do have slide shots, so overall, I think Glacio might have more range, but Merciless just feels better because when you get a kill or when you tag someone, you get faster charge time. Another thing that you need to remember with Merciless is the fact that it gets 3 bullets. Now, there's many ways you can get 3 bullets. All you need to do is reach a magazine size of 8. So if I run this, I will get 3 bullets per brick pickup. It's all about the mag size. If you're under 8, you won't get 3 bullets. But if you have 8 or higher, you will get. So what this can do is just basically allow you to only use specials. Last week, you would end up with, I think the most I had at once was like 18 shots, which is insane to even think about. I would run Merciless and Riptide. And if you know what Riptide has, it has Chill Clip, which you can't really use in PvP normally unless you get a full mag of 8 or a mag size bigger than 4. When half of the mag, so the top half of the mag gives you slow, and I found this really funny because I would just tag people and they would slow and they couldn't run, because the thing that I don't like about Riptide is that no range, it feels kind of off, and if you compare it to any other fusion, it's just kind of mid. But let's go back to the point. One fusion that I've been using is No Composure, and this thing has heating up, high impact. A craftable rapid fire would be Iterative Loop is probably the only, it is the only rapid fire fusion you can craft in the game at the moment, and let's just say this thing feels insane, mainly because if you play on Void, you get a lot of stability, so you can go all into range and then have really high stability. Oh, Likely Suspect is another one, but Likely Suspect, the problem about Likely Suspect is the fact that it doesn't really have a lot of consistency perks. I used to use this back in the day before all the fusion nerfs hit the game, and overall I just don't find it worth it. Maybe Adagio might be the new way, but heating up by itself is not really that good, right? Because you need a kill to proc it, and the more you proc it, the better it gets. It gets better accuracy, better stability, and better recoil direction the more kills you get. So one thing it allowed me to do, at least because this is from speaking about mouse and keyboard gameplay only, it just made it super consistent to get kills, right? Heating up Golden Tricorn might be really good, but I think Adagio might be the play on Likely Suspect. I just wouldn't recommend this whatsoever over Iterative Loop. Iterative Loop is just better in any way. It has Under Pressure, first of all, which is insane. It gives you third stability, and then you can also put on a void aspect such as Elemental Capacitor with, you know, what I have right now is max range. That would be full bore and enhanced range with enhanced perks like this. So this is what mine look like when I have two bullets in the mag, or 1 bullet in the mag. And overall, it just feels super consistent, and it feels really good to get kills with. But it just doesn't compete with Null Composure, because it has high impact reserves, which increases the damage dealt when you hit a target when the magazine is low, right? That makes sense. And overall, the gameplay you're watching right now is me using these weapons. And it's just, I don't understand why no one's using it. That's literally what the whole point of this video is. Why is no one using probably one of the most meta picks in this game? Right, you can come and argue, right, but a fusion rifle needs to charge. It doesn't really matter when the shotgun will never be able to reach you in the first place. And the amount of crazy 3-pieces I've gotten with this just adds up for it. First of all, conditional finality has only 2 bullets. Now, of course, you can get multiple kills with these 2 bullets because, shatter and ignition. But the one thing I've noticed with conditional, the shatter and ignition is less consistent on mouse and keyboard compared to controller, right? Because, I don't know how to explain it. It's like the aim friction helps you center the mass of the target compared to mouse and keyboard where you have to be precise while in a moving gunfight. So it's either you flick perfectly in the center of them, and you just pray all the pellets land, or you have aim friction leading you on to the center of the target, which making it much easier to get the shatter or ignition. Because you need to land most of the pellets, that's the whole point of the perk, most of them, not all of them. I do think they should change it to you need to land every single pellet on conditional to make the shatter or ignite. Anyway, back to the main thing. Cartesian is not really my pick. Now, I understand it has 17 zoom, which is a lot of zoom, and the role Mr. Gunsmith sold is a super consistent role, but for me it didn't really feel like it could keep up with Zala's. Zala's just feel better overall, but I still think now that I've used Null, it just is better. Now the difference is, if I don't have ammo, I don't think I would use No Composure over Zala's Reward, because Zala's Reward has 2 perks that just works without getting a kill, which is Under Pressure and High Impact Reserve. So does Cartesian. And I have played around with Timeline's Vertex. Now, I don't find adaptives that consistent on mouse and keyboard, but if you really want to use one, I would go with Techian Force, right? It has 15 zoom, with my Timelines as 20. The highest you can get on Timelines is 21, but they nerfed both Firmly Planted, and they have also nerfed, it doesn't really have any other perks. Snapshot is the perk I have on it, and it's good for what it does. And Rangefinder does kind of the same thing. It increases the zoom slightly, but it has Under Pressure. Under Pressure feels much better than Firmly Planted. I haven't used Plug 1 in forever, but it's another very consistent fusion rifle you should try out if you really want to. Now, one thing you need to remember is Telesto is also a fusion that can cross-map people, and it really doesn't need to worry about range compared to the other fusions, which is why you've seen so many people, and I think there's a YouTuber who mains this weapon and makes cool montages with it. I still would use Merciless over Telesto because of the way it feels. But the thing you need to remember is as well, since I've been using so many rapid fire fusions, using anything that's higher than 500 feels really off to me, and it just doesn't feel good. I tried using Burn of Guilt, it didn't feel good. I tried using Deliverance, it didn't feel good. So I ended up on No Composure being the best of the best. Now, this is definitely cope. This is definitely not even accurate to what some other people might say, but it's what I find more consistent. Timelines did feel good with the 20 zoom, because the higher zoom, the better it feels from further away. It can't kill from as far as it used to do, and it hopefully will never. But anyway, let me know what your guys' opinions about the special bricks are, because I am curious. I'm not a fan of it. I prefer the meter. It allows me to have more primary gunfights in a sense than everyone just firing their fusion rifle shots and pray for their best, or whatever it might be. Run in with their conditional and sit in the back with Forerunner. You get where I'm coming from, right? I don't find the bricks to be very fun to have overall. It kind of slows down the game in a sense in the beginning and will just make everyone just rely on special weapons. This week, I have my most used weapon is No Composure with 129. My second most used is Conditional Finality with 60. And my third most is Igneous Hammer with 47. Almost every game I've been playing, I only get kills with No Composure, because all the other weapons, like my SMG, are more or less irrelevant to the picture. But it's definitely interesting to try out and see how Bungie's experimenting with us live. And another thing that I noticed is the fact that they added SBMM into trials when you have a flawed card. It's to make it easier for the people who are trying to use persistent cards which is fair enough overall. And for the people who are just farming flawlesses, they don't need to worry too much. But let me know what you think, and yeah, more videos should be rolling out over the next few days.